talk about my grandfather, Samuel Bertsell Light. Middle name is spelled Bertsell. He was my my mother's second husband. And even though he was he was actually a step grandfather, we actually had a closer relationship to him um, than our other two biological um, grandfathers. He was a huge influence on the family, and I just want to talk about him. He um, he had siblings. He had three brothers and one sister. Um, he was born he was born August 28th, 1893, and he passed away on September 28th, 1962. He was born in Columbus Grove, um, Putnam County, Ohio. He spent a lot of his life in Michigan. He had a farm in Michigan. That's where he met my grandmother, my biological grandfather, Oscar Howes, and my grandmother. At some point, they divorced. He actually got remarried to a woman named Joyce, and from what my mother told me, he would walk by the farm, the house that they were living in. He was a farmer, and he would walk by, and he would, say hello to to her and her sister, and because he liked kids and everything. But he never actually had kids of his own. He, with his first wife, his first wife's name was Edith. Um, I just wanted to also mention that there's some more information and photos and so on findagrave.com under his name, and also on ancestry.com. And there's a bio of him on findagrave.com. But anyway, he was a huge influence on our family. So much so, it's like I think my mother, Joanne, she it was like he was like the father that she always wanted. It's like I don't think she was ever really close to her biological father, but she ended up being it's like a big influence on her life. Um, she she actually and he was such a huge influence that my um, her firstborn was a son. He was named after him. He was he was named Samuel Charles Evans, and so that's the kind of influence he had. And when I was born, he didn't I didn't get named after him, obviously, but apparently he liked the name. They were trying to decide between Kathleen and Diane for my first name, and he liked the name Kathleen. I think that's why I ended up with the name Kathleen, because he liked it. Although I don't go by Kathleen, I go by Susie, my middle name. So, and I got a few pictures here. He died, I was only like 9.5 when he died, and it's amazing how much I remember about him, and it's like like the influence he was, and like the how much he cared about us. He actually he loaned my dad the down payment on the house that we have in Gardena, which I'm living at right now. So it's like he was, I would say he was a pretty good businessman. It's like over his lifetime, he had a farm in Michigan, and then he had like a corner, like store gas station thing, and people would go there like on the weekends or whatever. And I think they used to have a room where they played cards and stuff and hung out. And then when they decided to make the move to California, and actually they originally went to were going to live in Arizona, but that didn't work out. I guess he didn't like the heat, so they moved on to California. So when they moved to California, he had he had like a liquor store. It was, I think, a little grocery store too in LA. It's like he and my grandmother lived there when they first moved here. They lived there, and I think for a short time they actually lived in our house in Gardena too. But they had this, they lived like across the street in like one of those a fourplex thing, and then he had this liquor store. And actually, I have a picture of him in his liquor store. thing, and it's like this. It's dated October 1956. That's all so it's probably taken in September, October, and that's him, you know, at his. And you know, he loved. I've got a few pictures of him in his store, and he, you know, he had that, and then they bought a house. They ended up buying a house also in Gardena, at the other end of Gardena on 164th Street, I believe. And it was one of the oldest houses in Gardena because it's right next to. It was just a block north of Gardena Boulevard, the old Gardena downtown area. And so, and they had that for a number of years. And actually, what they did is, I think he got bored, and then at that point, you know, with being sort of retired, and what they did is they ended up renting out the house. They actually moved to downtown LA area, the general area of downtown on Catalina, and he became an apartment manager. So he managed the apartments there. And that's actually where he passed away. And I'm going to do a separate video on him, on his death and what happened to him. But anyway, let's see. He'd been hard. It's like they had birds. I remember they had birds like at the house, and I know he loved dogs. I've got pictures of him with dogs and stuff, you know, from some years back. And I think there's a picture here. I'll share more pictures too. It's like, here's a picture. I'm pretty sure this is him. It's kind of hard to tell because the picture's so old. This is a picture of him, a photo of him with a dog. This was probably taken back in Michigan or Ohio, or, you know, it's like one or the other. And what else can I say about him? And I would have to say that my grandmother Dorothy, when she met him and married him, that was the love of her life. You know, that's like a much better husband than her previous husband, her first husband. Like I said, he had siblings. I haven't been able to find out much information about the siblings, but I know that they seem to, except for the sister, they all seemed, two of them met an untimely death. One died at like 18 or 19, and then another one died when he was 31. And I think we may have pictures of him, but the thing is like on the back of the pictures, you can't tell who it is because there's nothing written on the back. The one thing I know for sure that we have, is like I did a little bit of investigation work, is I have a pocket watch. My grandfather was big on pocket watches, and we actually have a pocket watch with the initials of his brother that died, Clyde Emmett Light, who died in 1931. And then he had another brother that died in the 1940s. You know, he lived, you know, I don't know how old he was when he passed away, but he's probably only in his 40s when he passed away. Let's see, he was named, Pappy was, everybody called him Pappy, by the way. Everybody, you know, it's like, I don't know if he always had that name or if it was just adopted at some point in time when he married my grandmother, but he had Columbus girl, I'm not sure, it's like, Edith, the only thing I have on his ex-wife Edith was, I have like a funeral thing, you know, like a card or something on her, but, and I think I may have pictures of him and her, but I haven't been able to quite identify them. Anyway, I'm going to end this at this. I'm probably going to be doing a couple more on him because there's a lot to say about him, and like I said, he was a huge influence on our lives, and, you know, it's like I don't think we would, you know, have a lot or be a lot. I really wish he had lived longer, you know, at least another 5 years, because I think he, you know, things would have changed and been even better for us had he lived longer. But his life was cut short. Like I said, I'll do another video on that, and that's it for now.